Hello! Welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn a very special expression, so let's get started. Today we're learning this expression, and you can say it in different ways. You can say a piece of work, you can say a real piece of work, and you can say some piece of work. So sometimes it's countable, we use a, and sometimes it's not. We say some piece of work. And we use it to describe a person. He's a piece of work. He's a real piece of work. Or he's some piece of work. And what does it mean? It means the person is complicated, complex, maybe a little difficult, strange, maybe a little weird. Someone who's a little different. Like a character. Similar to saying he's a character. A strange, different kind of person. It's not really a compliment, and it's not really an insult. Let's hear some examples.
So your Uncle Johnny, he's a real piece of work today.
I met a real piece of work this morning.
She's a real piece of work.
She's a real piece of work.
You are a piece of work.
Man, that's some piece of work you raised.
You're a piece of work, you know that?
She's a real piece of work.
You're a piece of work.
What a piece of work you are.
You are some piece of work, you know that?
Our new neighbor is some piece of work.
You are really a piece of work, you know that?
You're some piece of work.
You're a piece of work, you know that?
Yeah, well, she's some piece of work.
You're a piece of work, you know that.
You're a piece of work, you know that?
You're a piece of work, my friend.
Example. This is my uncle. He's really old, and he likes to argue with anybody he meets. He'll argue with a total stranger. A total stranger is someone that you don't know at all. He'll argue with anybody. He's strange. He's different. He's a piece of work. Or I can say he's a real piece of work. Or I can say he's some piece of work. Let's practice. This is my uncle, and he loves to argue with everybody he meets. Is he a piece of work? That's right, he's a piece of work. Is he a real piece of work? That's right, he's a real piece of work. Is he some piece of work? That's right, he's some piece of work. He's different and a little strange. He's not normal. He's not like everybody else. Today we're learning this expression, in the lurch. Pronunciation, lurch. Use the sound like burger. Lurch. In the lurch. And the verb we use normally is leave. You leave somebody in the lurch. And what does it mean? It means you leave someone without any help in a time when they really need help. That's to leave someone in the lurch. The verb leave in the past, left. My friend left me in the lurch. He was supposed to help me move, but he didn't come. He didn't call me. He didn't show up. So I was left without any help in a time where I really needed help. So I can say he left me in the lurch. Let's hear some examples.
You think I could leave him in the lurch?
Sorry I had to leave you in the lurch, but it was the only way, believe me.
Llewellyn, I ain't gonna leave you in the lurch.
No.
Doctor, you're not gonna do anything stupid like try leaving me in the lurch, are you?
No.
Jerry Lewis, you give me hope to carry on, but then you leave me in the lurch while you strap on your 6 guns.
Drinking away memories of that ex who left you in the lurch with 2 young boys.
Dump us in the lurch or what?
Oh, but I miss you guys, and I don't want to leave you in the lurch with the houses.
Because Brian left us in the lurch, Jerry.
Example. He quit his job. He just walked out of the office and quit his job. He didn't like his job, so he was happy to quit, but his boss wasn't happy because his boss had to do all the work. He left his boss in the lurch. He left his boss without any help in a time when he needed it. He needed help. So I can use the expression, he left his boss in the lurch. And he was happy to do it. He didn't like his job. Let's practice. Did he leave his boss in the lurch? That's right, he left his boss in the lurch. Today we're practicing with this vocabulary. 5 o'clock shadow, stubble, and peach fuzz. They all mean about the same thing, but they're a little different. Let's take a closer look. The first is 5 o'clock shadow. Sometimes it's countable and you say a 5 o'clock shadow, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes we say a little 5 o'clock shadow. Let's hear some examples.
A little 5 o'clock shadow, perhaps, but nothing that would turn the jury against me. Do you think?
5 o'clock shadow. Did you shave?
Looks like 10-year-old Peter got a 5 o'clock shadow.
5 o'clock shadow. The last thing I remember was shaving.
You all saw the picture, right? She had a 5 o'clock shadow, an Adam's apple, and a Semper Fi tattoo.
Example, he has a 5 o'clock shadow. He has a little hair on his face. He needs to shave. It's more common to say a 5 o'clock shadow, but we hear both. Let's practice. Does he have a 5 o'clock shadow? That's right, he has a 5 o'clock shadow. Let's practice. Does he need to shave? That's right, he needs to shave. This is also a shadow. In this case, shadow is always countable. When you talk about this, you always say a shadow. Let's practice. Is this a shadow? That's right, this is a shadow. Another word we use to describe a little hair is stubble. But we can use stubble both on the head or on the face. And stubble is never countable. He has some stubble on his head, or he has some stubble on his face. Pronunciation, use the short like cup and up. Stubble, stubble. Put the stress on the first syllable.
By the way, really liking the stubble back.
So they shaved his head, and now the stubble's growing in hot.
Who calls himself father? Brown eyes, a little bit of stubble.
You know, and then the cartoons with the stubble and the jowls.
Buzz that little mop top and you let your stubble come in, the ladies will love it.
You have a lot less stubble in person.
Behind the stubble and the too prominent brow and the male pattern baldness, I sensed your feminine longing.
I'm tired of looking at that stubble.
Let's practice. Does he have some stubble on his head? That's right, he has some stubble on his head. So he has some stubble on his head. Does he need to shave? No, he doesn't need to shave. Maybe he likes it like that. Let's practice. Does he need to shave? That's right, he doesn't need to shave. Maybe he likes it. Let's practice. Does he have some stubble on his face? That's right, he has some stubble on his face. And the last one is peach fuzz. Peach fuzz is also not countable. We do not say a peach fuzz. Some peach fuzz, a little peach fuzz. And it's when you have little hairs growing out of your face when you're a teenager and you first start growing hair on your face. That's called peach fuzz. Like a peach, the fuzz on a peach. It's similar because the hairs are usually soft when they first start growing. Let's hear some examples.
Yeah, he's a peach fuzz kid.
I see your peach fuzz finally grew in.
Brilliant. Johnny Depp with peach fuzz.
Peach fuzz.
Nah, that's man style now.
So example, teenage boys usually have peach fuzz on their face. Let's practice. Do teenage boys usually have peach fuzz on their face? That's right, teenage boys usually have peach fuzz on their face, unless they shave. So remember the three: 5 o'clock shadow, stubble, and peach fuzz. They all mean about the same thing, but they're a little different. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.